What's up, y'all? It's your girl August, and today I have for you a Southern classic chicken fried steak. Some people call it country fried steak. I have a bunch of ingredients here, so let's get into it. So first up, we have, of course, our steak. I'm using cube steak, which is already tenderized, but we're gonna tenderize it just a little bit more. This is the steak that you wanna use for this recipe. We're gonna marinate it in buttermilk, which is gonna make it more tender. Some hot sauce. I like to use Crystal's hot sauce just for a little kick in acidity. Some egg. And for seasoning, we're gonna do smoked paprika and garlic powder. And once that's marinated, we're gonna set up a dredging station with flour, cornstarch, which is gonna make it very crispy and golden, just how we want it. And some seasonings, of course, which is salt, pepper, paprika, cayenne pepper, and garlic powder. Once that's done, we have to make a delicious gravy. You know, that's like the important part when you're making country fried steak. Our gravy is gonna be milk, heavy cream, some flour because we're gonna make a roux that's gonna make it real nice, thick and creamy, some butter, fresh garlic, some salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, and chicken broth. So first we're gonna set up our marinade. We're gonna add some buttermilk to a bowl. And the buttermilk is just gonna add some tenderization and some acidity to the steak. And we're gonna add some egg. And this just acts as a binder for when we're gonna dredge the steak later. Okay, add 2 eggs. Ooh, make sure you don't get any shells in there. And then we're gonna whisk this together until all the egg is incorporated with the buttermilk. Okay. Now we're gonna add in our seasonings, which is garlic powder and some smoked paprika. I like to use the smoked paprika because I like to have just a little bit of smokiness to it. Gives it a nice flavor profile. And last but not least, we're gonna add in some hot sauce. And this adds some heat, of course, and some more acidity to the dish. All right, mix that all together really well. And then we're just gonna set this aside while we prepare our steaks. Now a cube steak, it already went through a process of tenderization. That's why it has all these little grooves in it, but we want it even more tender, so I'm gonna pound it out. Just cover it with some plastic wrap. Okay. And once it's covered with my plastic wrap, I'm gonna use a meat mallet to pound it out. If you don't have a meat mallet, you can also use a rolling pin or even a wine bottle. So you just wanna pound it like so. And you wanna keep pounding until it flattens out. All right. Okay, so it's flattened out more now. It's more tender, and also this is great so it cooks evenly. You want it to be one single layer. Okay, now you just want to simply add the steak to the buttermilk mixture, and we're gonna let this marinate for 1 hour in the fridge. Okay, so our steaks have been marinating for an hour. Now it's time to coat our steaks. We're gonna add some flour and some cornstarch, which is, of course, is gonna make it nice and golden and crispy. Then we're gonna add in some seasonings, which is salt, pepper, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and onion powder. Just mix this on up. And you wanna see a little bit of color on the flour so we know it's seasoned very well. It smells really good. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. All right. So once that's all mixed up, you just want to take your steak and let the excess drip off a bit and then dip it right on in that flour. And you want to make sure it's really coated. So I do it on both sides and really throw the flour over and press down into the flour. Okay. You just want to make sure it's really coated in there, every single crevice, so we get it nice and crispy. And with this recipe, you don't need to do a double coating. It's gonna be really nice and crispy. And with that gravy, the flavor is gonna take it over the top. So now it's coated, and I'm gonna just set it aside on this wire rack over a baking sheet. You could put it on a plate, whatever you like to do. And we're just gonna let it sit for a little bit while the oil heats up. So this way, the coating just really adheres to that steak and it doesn't fall off once we're frying it. So of course, you just wanna repeat that step, shake off the excess, and dip right on in that flour. Just repeating the same thing over again. Get it on every single crevice. Okay, so now our steaks are coated really nicely, and we're gonna go over to the stove and heat up our oil. In a large skillet, you just wanna add your oil, enough oil to coat the bottom, not too much. I'm using vegetable oil, but you could use any high smoke oil that you want to. I have the heat on medium high, and we're gonna wait for that to reach 350 degrees. While the oil is heating up, we're gonna preheat our oven to 200 to keep the steaks warm while we make the gravy. Okay, the oil is hot now, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my steaks. And I'm just gonna do one at a time so I don't crowd the pan. And you just wanna fry this for 3 minutes per side. 3 minutes have passed. So now I'm just gonna take my tongs and flip the steak. Ooh, and look at that, golden brown. That's just what we're looking for. Okay, now I'm just gonna remove this steak. And now it's time to add the second piece and let this fry for 3 minutes per side, just like the other piece. All right, now I'm just gonna flip this. Okay, now I'm removing my other piece. Okay, then you wanna take some of the pan drippings and we're gonna use this in our gravy. Now you want to get a new pan and put it over medium heat and add in those pan drippings that we took from when we fried the steak. And then you want to add in some butter and wait for this to melt. Now once it's melted, we're going to add in our flour and start making a roux. Right, and now we're going to put our steaks in the oven to keep them warm while we make the gravy. The butter is melted, we're gonna gradually add in our flour. And you wanna do this gradually, just so it doesn't get clumpy. Now this is how we make our roux. You wanna keep whisking, just to cook out that flour flavor and create the nice base for our gravy. We don't want any clumps, so just keep whisking around. And we want this to be a nice golden brown. Okay, and I'm gonna add a little bit more. And you see how it just dissolves pretty quickly, but you need to keep whisking, It takes a little arm work, but it's worth it in the end. Now we're gonna add in the last of our flour and just repeat that process. All right, I'm looking, you see like a little bit of clumps. Just wanna make sure all of that is whisked out. Okay, and it's still pretty light, so I'm gonna keep on whisking until this gets a nice golden brownish color. Now you don't wanna overcook it because we don't want a dark gravy. You just want it to be almost light beige, okay? All right, okay, so now it's about the color I want it to be. I'm gonna go ahead and add in my garlic. Add in my fresh minced garlic and start whisking this around as well for 30 seconds. All right, now I'm gonna follow with my chicken broth, and this is just gonna add some nice flavor. All right, and you see how quickly this look like it's turning clumpy? Don't worry about it, we're gonna fix that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my milk, okay, and keep whisking. Add the milk and keep on whisking till everything is kind of dissolved. Okay, now I'm gonna add in my heavy cream and whisk that in as well. And you see how everything is pretty smooth? It's all in the wrist. You just gotta keep on whisking. I know it seems tedious, but this is what you gotta do. And I'm gonna turn up the heat to medium high. All right. And then we're gonna add in our seasonings as well. And whisk that together. Yeah. Okay. Everything is incorporated pretty good. I'm gonna let this come to a little boil, and then I'm gonna reduce the heat, and I'm gonna stir occasionally till the gravy is forming and is very thick. Okay, this is starting to bubble, you see. So now I'm just gonna stir a little bit and reduce the heat down to medium low, about 2 on my stove. And just let that simmer. And we're gonna keep stirring occasionally so it evens out, it's nice and smooth, and it doesn't clump up on the bottom. Okay, so my gravy has thickened a lot, as you can see. This is what you're looking for, this consistency. And once the back of a spoon or spatula, whatever you're using to stir, the gravy sticks to it like this, you know the gravy is finished, okay? So now we're gonna just give it one nice stir again and remove this from the heat. All right, so now I have my chicken fried steak plated here with some mashed potatoes, the best way to eat it. We're gonna add our gravy on top. Just like that. Ooh, look at that gravy. Add a little bit more. I like a lot of gravy. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna add some fresh cracked black pepper just to finish it off. And there you have it, some chicken fried steak. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and the full recipe is linked in the description.